Shalom, all praises to the Most High. Hanoka said, praise be to the earthly mother. Praise be to the Kahe, the Holy Spirit, in the name of his only begotten Son, Motsah the Lamb, unification to the nation. So this is going to be part 2 to the series that I'm doing regarding Antarctica. Now, I, just made a a culmination of a bunch of different videos that I have on Antarctica and some of the old findings and more recent findings. Now we're going to get into first a more recent finding. Isn't it funny that they're finding a bunch of elongated skulls, finding pyramids? Interesting. It is almost as if giants lived here as well, right? Everyone's looking for the Holy Land. Could the Holy Land just be here? Well, I don't know, but it's also a possibility. But we will know if the Most High shows that to us. But I definitely do think that something was here. But anyway, let's get into what this dude has to say.
These are some of the most iconic images in all of history. These have been found for many, many, many years, and people cannot explain them. Some have tried to explain it away with this thing called trepanation that they do, where they tie the strings around baby skulls. But you would have to ask why. Why would they want them to look like that if there were?
And that's false, because they already examined some skulls, and they said that babies had these skulls, like fully developed skulls like this, pretty much. Meaning that it couldn't have happened over the skull growing into that size, like they were birthed with these skulls. Now some people say, well, these are how the angels look. You're a weirdo. The angels look like humans. The angels can shapeshift. The angels can look like dragons, but the angels look like man. Like, this is not how the angels look. This an elongated skull comes out through mongralism as well, meaning incest. An elongated skull is a birth defect. These are the Canaanites. These are the people birthed possibly through the incest of Ham and his own mother and made Canaan. This is these people. These are the blue-eyed, red-headed white giants of antiquity. Some being white, some not, but this is who they are. And their descendants are ruling over us right now. So all these people talking about how like bigging up these giants and saying, oh, we come from these giants, and saying, oh, this is the ancient race of giants. That's because that's their children, right? These are the people who our forefather and our brother David killed without hesitation. I have no love for these things. What's wrong with y'all talking about you, the Anunnaki? You're probably the children of them. You're probably a Canaanite. That's what it is. If you're so in love with these things, you're probably a Canaanite. That's just what it is. You're so in love with Canaanite religions. Anyway, let's continue. Sorry for going on the rant.
Weren't already people who had skulls naturally formed like that. In today's video, I'm going to show you in Antarctica yet another skull. Now, I put this together this morning just to show you that it's not a one-off. Over the past 2 years, and because we don't do the videos as often as we used to, many people have forgotten all of the different skull and head images we have uncovered using Google Earth Pro. One of the best things about using Google Earth Pro is, as always, down in the description, I will give you all of the coordinates. You can download Google Earth Pro to your own device, laptop or computer. Place those coordinates into the search bar, and it'll take you right to these images. You don't have to trust me. You can see it for your own eyes on your own device. And yes, these are all real. These have not been edited in any way. They haven't been doctored in any way. These are what the images look like in reality from satellite in Antarctica. All 6 of them. Now, we're going to go to Google Earth Pro here. And where we're going to primarily be today is down here in the 6 o'clock region. We, of course, use the Antarctic Peninsula up here as 12 o'clock and just treat it as if it was a normal time-telling clock. So down here around 6 o'clock. But I did want to go someplace real fast before we get there, just to show you guys something. Now, just as a disclaimer, this was discovered by others, not me. Third phase of moon made it popular. There was some controversy about who actually discovered it earlier, but they had made it popular here on YouTube. This is, of course, the third phase of moon face. You can see the mouth, the nose. It's kind of reminiscent of the face on Mars type of thing. There's one eye that's got a kind of a slit here, and the other eye seems to be completely closed. One thing that I personally discovered about it, though, that nobody else saw, was this. If you take this image and you just take away this part down here, and you zoom in on the upper part, you get an entirely different face. You can see the mouth here, the nose, the one open dark eye here, and then the closed eye over here. So, anyway, I want to...
He's kind of reaching there. Let's move along, move ahead.
As you can see, we have a jaw, we have a nose feature, we have the eye, the cheekbone, and as you can see, we have the long, trepanated, whatever term you want to use, skull of this. And you're currently looking at eye altitude, 225 feet. Imagery date, meaning the imagery layer, is 3/15/2004. We're going to go ahead and do a quick measure here. A lot. Let me tell you, it's close to Martinique.
So pretty much they found a bunch of weird-looking skulls in Antarctica. Skulls that are similar to the skulls that they found in the Americas. Now, I find it very interesting that they don't find these skulls like that anywhere else. They find them sparsely throughout the other lands, but they find most of these weird giant bones in the Americas or Antarctica. Now, if you guys have seen the video that I did regarding part 1, you know that the land was connected. All the land of Shem was connected, right? Now, of course, there are islands nearby, but who knows? Those islands could have been connected as well. The Most High sunk a lot of lands, right? I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of weird. This could be the location of the Holy Lands. I wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know. But I just find it also weird that I'm about to show you what I mean in the next video.
Go flavor mode with Trident Vibes. The gum with...
It's the world's most...
How is Trident going to help you with trigonometry? Like, these commercials just retarded.
most remote and isolated continent. It's home to glaciers, mountains, plants, and penguins, but today, Antarctica is noteworthy for what it doesn't have. In modern Antarctica, there aren't any trees or native terrestrial mammals, reptiles, or amphibians at all. But it wasn't always like this. Thanks to plate tectonics, Antarctica has been connected to lots of other continents at various points in deep time. As a matter of fact, before the start of the Eocene epoch about 56 million years ago, Antarctica was still joined to both Australia and South America. And
all the lands of Shem, as I told you. They know. Australia is a Shemite land. South America and the Americas in general are Shemite lands. They're all connected. So the Holy Land could be in a land we have never seen before. We don't know. I already showed you in that book of Enoch the keys to the Keys to Enoch, I think it's called. Uh, they have the Holy Spirit originally over, not Antarctica, over Australia. Why? Could that be the original lands? Could be. It really, really could be. Could be. But I don't know. My guess is still California, Utah, that area. That's still my guess. Could be something else. They found a lot of giant bones over here. That's all I'm saying, but who knows? Let's continue.
Fossil record tells us that in the early Eocene, Antarctica was a warm forested place, very different from the continent we know today. Palm trees thrived there, as did flowering plants, dung beetles, and even a number of hoofed mammals and marsupials. And because
Wow, that sounds like South America. It actually sounds like like Cali mixed with South America. It almost sounds like an amalgamation of like a lot of the Shemitic lands. And you're gonna see it just might be that.
of the way it was situated, Antarctica probably served as an important migration path for the ancestors of some of the southern hemisphere's most charismatic mammals, like wallabies and kangaroos. Eventually, of course, the lush environment of Eocene Antarctica transitioned into the cold, glacier-covered landmass that it is today, isolated from the rest of the world by the most powerful ocean currents on the planet. But it turns out that a lot of what we recognize about the southern hemisphere, including those famously unique animals of Australia, can be traced back to the time when Antarctica was green. If you could travel back in time and visit Antarctica in the Eocene epoch, the first thing you'd notice would probably be the greenery. Off the coast of Wilkes Land in eastern Antarctica, scientists have discovered sporomorphs, fossilized pollen and spores from ancient palm trees and ferns. They've also found pollen from other plants that often live in tropical environments today. The traces of these warm weather plants can tell us a lot about what Antarctica was like back then. Since these palms and other trees can't tolerate the cold very well, paleontologists think that in the early Eocene, the coast of Wilkes Land experienced very mild winters with little to no frost. By one estimate, the mean annual temperature of that part of Antarctica was around 16 degrees Celsius, with an average winter temperature of around 11 degrees Celsius. So how could ancient Antarctica have been so warm? Well, for one thing, the Eocene wasn't the first time that Antarctica's climate was so mild. Scientists have found sporomorphs and other fossils from warm weather plants in Antarctica that date back way to the Devonian period, more than 358 million years ago. Most of the landmass that would become Antarctica had migrated to the bottom of the world. By the early Eocene, the western part of Antarctica had just split from the tip of South America, but the eastern part was still mostly linked to Australia. And right around this time, the world was going through a dramatic heat spike. This event is known as the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, and we did a whole episode about it, because the theories about what caused it and what made it stop on the continent, including Antarctica. And mind you, Antarctica is a really big place. Like, the entire country of Australia can easily fit inside its boundaries. So given its size, it was able to support many different ecosystems.
Do you guys really think that Antarctica is that small? Are they kidding me? Antarctica is probably bigger than the rest of the lands combined. But, you know, they're hiding a lot of land. That's just what they do. They tell you the earth is a ball. You know?
In the Eocene. Farther inland and at higher elevations, sporomorphs and leaf impressions have been found from plants that are normally found in temperate rainforests, like the southern beech trees. It's also been suggested that some areas even experienced monsoons, getting more than 60% of their annual rainfall.
Okay, I don't remember where it was said. I'm sorry for making guys sit through this. You guys maybe you guys could just watch this video. You guys see the title. But what she pretty much says is that a lot of the different plants and animals that are found all around the world, that are found in South America and Africa and Europe, they're all found in Antarctica. Meaning they believe that Antarctica was the place where all of these things came from. Is that not insane? So they think that Antarctica was the forerunner land, pretty much, That's where things got on and popping. Could have been. Definitely could have been. Let's get into some shorter videos and then I'm gonna end the video. But there's a video that Mr. This is my country, Dabu7, he made a report on this last month.
This is Dabu7. The Trump administration making more military moves, so to speak, here in terms of these icebreakers. Now, they're not going to be armed with weapons as you would see on a traditional vessel with cannons and things like that. But these are strategic and even getting into certain areas like the Arctic. The problem has been we have only had one big icebreaker and then one medium-sized one. That's a big problem when Russia has all kinds. And they have been crisscrossing the Arctic for some time. They've been cutting out channels and pathways and have allowed countries like China and others to take a trade route all the way up and around into this area to get around and into Europe. So this has a lot of strategic importance, especially when they're up there.
There's been a lot of naval back and forth with Antarctica, and there's been a lot of fight over the so-called moon, right? These people are fighting. The Gentiles, they're fighting, they're scrambling. Because the jig is up. Things are about to be released, and they're trying to figure out who to poke the blame to, who to pass the hot potato to. They know that Antarctica is a huge secret. Huge secret. It's a bigger secret than America. Look at how they're acting. Whatever is there, I don't know what's there. There's something there that we really don't know too much about.
Tonight's Fact or Fiction is brought to you by...
Now let's listen to how they respond to the claim that the pyramids were in Antarctica.
America's finest carpet.
In tonight's Fact or Fiction, we're looking into an image from Google Earth. It's getting some buzz. It shows an area of Antarctica that some people claim clearly has pyramids covered in snow. Several websites say the pyramids were likely made by an intelligent human civilization long ago. It's pure fiction. The so-called pyramids in the Google Earth image are just mountains. Their pyramid-like shape is called a horn. And these type of mountains are a common feature of areas with glaciers.
Really, and that sort of reporting is not for us. It's not for people who critically think. They're for people who don't research. They're for people who take things at face value. It's the same way how they tell us, oh, Jerusalem's there. There's nowhere else. It can't be anywhere else. All these lands, they can't be anywhere else. We would tell you the truth. Oh, okay, I know you would. Crazy. Now you can just read what it's saying. The mystery of Antarctica has captivated many, but while some still look at its majesty, others are looking at its hidden secrets. Mysterious pyramids, thought to have been 100 million years old. What are you talking about? Which turned out to be mountains instead. Come on now. Mountains are built like that? When have you ever seen a mountain like that? That's cut. That's obviously cut. That's not man-made. It's Nephilim made, but those are obvious cuts. It's the same way how the Machu Picchu is made. Those are made by Nephilims or giants. That's a man-made structure. The same way how this is a man-made structure. What in the hell is that? Pyramids. Do you think anyone is that stupid to think that that's a pyramid? Pyramids. You must think someone's retarded. But the continent proves that Earth is flat, so we're back in a massive ice wall. Listen, the Earth is not flat. The Earth is a sphere that doesn't end, right? That's what, I'm sorry, what was it? What is the dude's name? 432 The Drop. he said that, and I thought about it, and I was like, yo, that actually makes a lot of sense. Meaning, it's a, how could I put it? It's almost like a squiggly line that keeps going up and down, and it bulges at the equator. That's kind of how the Earth is. The Earth, you know, you don't know where the end is, right? But I think it bulges around the equators. Like there are multiple equators. They're not just one equator. They're hiding the rest of it, but whatever. Yeah, they're trying to hide the presence of the pyramids, right? Let me show you real quick, because this person.
Hey folks, it's Saturday, September 22nd,
as a
about
straight up
8:45
pyramid.
Mountain
Like,
Time,
you can't really get
Behind it,
around
too.
this.
This one was built in
This looks
2004.
like
It's
a
got some
pyramid in
pictures,
Mexico, look.
and bingo, look in the picture. This is right next to this research facility. See that? There's one behind it, too. Interesting cloud there, but this is right.
That's a mountain? That's a pyramid, bro. Now, I want to ask you guys something. As I said in the previous part of this, could this have been at least part of the land of Egypt? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the land of Ur or the Chaldees or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea. But could it have been at least part of Egypt? Could it have been? If the land was connected, would it not be too crazy to think that some of the Egyptian empire occurred there? Because we find Egyptian artifacts all over the Americas, not just in one spot. From North America to South America, it's full of Egyptian, things, to the point where they thought that we were Egyptians. You understand? That's a pyramid, bro.
Right next to the research facility. So I looked at some more pictures, and here's another one. Please bear with me. Screen's going to go white. And there we go. That's a pyramid.
Yeah, even he knows the pyramid. That's a pyramid, and it looks like the same pyramids that the Aztecs were killing each other on, sacrificing, to their gods, pretty much, because they didn't want to serve the god of their forefathers or the power of their forefathers. Right? Let me ask you guys something. For those who still think that the lands are over there, because Egypt was not, considered Egypt until, 200 years ago? But these pyramids they're trying to hide, where do you think Egypt would be? Do you really think that they would tell you where the Holy Lands are freely? Are we not connected to our land? Do we not have a connection with our land? You read this in these other books. That's why you have to, move. Like, yes, you have to understand the 80 books of the so-called KJV or whatever. It's good to understand those books. It's good to have an anchor. It's good to be anchored in something and then move out into other things. I understand the concept. I do it too. However, you have to expand your knowledge. We have been connected with the land. We are connected with our ancestors. We have different things that we did. Right? It's more than what people are making it out to be. And it's the same thing with this. All of these ancient pyramids that people think are older than those pyramids over there, they look older. Those pyramids, if they aren't recent, they're a replica of something else. I'm telling you, man, Africa is a very young civilization. People think it's the oldest. It's probably the youngest. Probably the youngest. And this is the last one.
Antarctica has yielded implications about global warming that are chilling. Drilling deep into the seabed just off Earth's southernmost continent Researchers have discovered remnants of a near-tropical rainforest that existed 50 million years ago. During this period, known as...
Did you hear that? A tropical rainforest. That's what I mean. It's a part of South America. And there is an equatorial line around Antarctica, or what they called Terra Australis. There is an equatorial line. When there are equatorial lines, that is when you're going to find a lot of like humid wildlife and things of that sort. You're going to find Shemitic lands, because usually the best lands are around the equator. But that's all I wanted to show you guys. It's late. I'm tired. Probably should have recorded this at a different time. I hope that, I don't know. I hope this was of some sort of quality to you guys. And I hope that you can ask a little bit more questions. Again, on this channel, we don't know anything. We don't know. The only thing we do know is that we're looking for the truth. The only thing we can do is make a solid argument. And everything that we say is our opinion. If you can't understand that concept, I don't know what to tell you. Because we can both read the same scripture and come to a different conclusion. Only the Most High has the proper interpretation. We must remember this. We must keep humble about everything and learn to pray to the Most High to ask Him the questions and not ask each other like these hard questions. Why do that? Why? Just ask Him. If you want to know so bad, ask Him. I've asked Him. So you ask Him. If we both ask Him, we might get an answer. So don't fight against me. Join me in this quest, right? Because it's pretty damn obvious that they're lying about a lot of things, and the land, the Holy Land, quote unquote, included. I don't know why the hell they would tell you that. They don't go to that land for anything. What is the purpose of coveting the land? If that was the land and is laying desolate, what's the point of coveting it? What is the point? I'm asking, what is the point? There is no point. There's no point in coveting it. I also wanted to make one last note. I find it very funny that the equinox in California happened at the exact same time as in so-called Jerusalem. So it makes me wonder why they picked that place, to be Jerusalem. It's like they're siphoning energy of something. Well, I don't know. Shalom.